He takes me on this car ride, right? He says he wants to ask me a key question. I want to know, when you sit down in the theater and the lights go off and the movie comes on, what's the first goddamn thing you see? He says, all right, I'll tell you how it's supposed to start. It's a fighter plane from the pilot's eye, and it's flying over Korea, Seoul. And it's flying slow and sunny, and then bang, wham, boom! I mean, the biggest goddamn explosion you ever saw on the screen. And then it goes dark. Dark! For maybe 10 seconds, there's nothing. And then when it comes back, there's the ballpark. And the crowd. Roaring. And that's how it's supposed to begin.
You know, he was, I guess, 6 years older than I was. And it was harder for him to get into this mode.
A bunch of time had passed since World War II, and Ted Williams hadn't flown one plane since he left the service. And now they're called to fly jets that none of them knew how to fly.
After spending nearly the entire 1952 season retraining in flight school, Williams landed for duty in Korea in February 1953.
The life in Korea was miserable. I mean, he's sick, it was cold. He had to keep flying because they didn't have enough pilots. I mean, literally, he was bleeding out of his ears.
Williams began flying combat missions just after his arrival. And in one of his first runs, his plane found enemy fire.
So I'm up to about 18,000 feet now, and I felt like any minute I'm going to have to bail out of this son of a bitch. So all of a sudden, this plane right behind me, little Lieutenant Hawkins, young kid, he led me back to the field, and in the meantime, he's calling in, telling that, you know, he has a plane with him that's smoking.
All the Marines are in the air. And all of a sudden you hear this, I got a mayday, I got a mayday. Now, we don't know who this is, but he's your brother. He's one of you. And you feel for this guy. Who is this guy?
Big explosion in the plane. And all this fire and smoke was underneath me, see? I didn't have my brakes, didn't have my wheels down. And I had nothing to slow me down. All I'm thinking about is getting on the deck. And I never will forget, as I was coming in, I'm on fire. 30 feet of fire going up behind my ass, see? And I hit the runway, and I skidded 1 mile up the runway. So I was really coming in fast. And I'm saying to myself, when is this dirty son of a bitch going to stop? That's all I said. When is this dirty son of a bitch? And if I ever prayed in my life, the only goddamn thing I said, well, there's a goddamn Christ. It's the time old Teddy Ballgame needs you.
But he landed on the stomach of the plane, and why he didn't blow up, I'll never know. It's a miracle.
Having completed serving his country for the second time in the Marine Air Corps, Ted Williams once again prepares to return to play baseball.
Ted, I understand that your future address is Fenway Park. Is that correct?
Well, as of now, that's where I'm scheduled to go, Colonel. I plan on being up there tomorrow, and needless to say, I'm anxious to see if I can still hit.
And it's flying slow and sunny, and then bang, wham, boom! I mean, the biggest goddamn explosion you ever saw on the screen. And then it goes dark. Dark! For maybe 10 seconds, there's nothing. And then when it comes back, there's the ballpark.